is what we were supposed to talk about. This is what we were supposed to talk about in our last class. Okay, but we actually used that time to set up our own project, our own block project, our own block project. Okay, so because of that, we could not actually talk about it. So we'll start from here, and if time permits, which I don't know if time will permit, then we'll see how we can. Because what we do now is probably we'll be doing more theory on Mondays, like demonstrations on Monday, then probably, and then on Wednesday we do the actual implementation. So that's how I'm trying to see how I can make it be that way. Okay, so we have better understanding. And I also believe that some of us haven't yet submitted our tasks. I don't know why. Okay. Also, some of us are still having difficulty in arranging our project. Okay. So please, if there's anyone, okay, that's not on this call or probably is on you guys WhatsApp group, tell that person to message me on Slack. Okay. Let me see how we can. Because if you can't arrange your folders the way it should be, then that means whatever we are going to be doing, you might actually follow along, okay, but it's not actually working on your own, like on your own side. That's because your project folders are not, or your folders are not being arranged in the way that it should be. So if there's any tell them to message me on Slack. Okay. So in today we simply talk about databases, database relationship and object relational mapping, ORM. For that, I know that we're already used to this reminder here. Okay, so I'll just update one more time. Okay. So let me go ahead and share. Let me go ahead and share my entire screen. Yeah, let me go ahead and share my entire screen. Okay, I'll share my entire screen now. So okay, before we dive into our VS Code and our project, okay, so let's simply just see what try to understand what this thing here mean, right? Because I think this is what we are going to cover in today's class. Okay, so well, I believe most of us have heard of database before, okay? So with simple explanation or with simple definition, okay, we can say that database is actually a collection of data, okay, like where we save our data. Okay, so that the collection of those data makes it a database, okay? And then in order to save these these data are being saved with tables, okay? And tables are like tables are found inside the database, okay? And I'll show you that in a moment, okay? I'll show you that in a moment. So tables are what we actually use to actually save this data, and this data will now be saved in the database. So, for example, we might have let's say the block table, okay, and then this table has different columns, okay, and these columns happens to be fields, okay. Let's say in the block table we might have something like the block title, okay, the block content, the block author, and should I say the block date, right? Like when that post was being made, okay, and that's okay. That becomes a table, okay, and then we collect these data and we save them in the database. And we could have another table, and we could say the comment table, okay, and then this comment table can have columns such as the post, okay, because which post are we actually commenting on, right? And then the actual comment itself, right? And what are we commenting, right? And then the time which this comment was made on that post, okay? Now that becomes a table, and that table will now be saved in the database, right? So now collection of all these tables, right, makes it a database. So then we have what is known as database relationship, okay? So database relationship, okay, and I put up a note for that, okay. Right, here it is. Okay, so there are basically three kinds of relationship when it comes to database, right? There is a one-to-one relationship, there is a many-to-one relationship, and there is a many-to-many relationship, right? And from their names, okay, from their names, the explanation is quite really simple, okay. Therefore, for the one-to-one relationship, you can say that it is used when a record of a model, okay. So when a record of a table A, right? Let's use table for that. Instead of this, let's use table instead of model, okay. But then later in the class, I'll tell you why we are using model, not a table there. But for now, let's use table there. So you can say that a one-to-one relationship is simply used when a record of a table A, let's say a table block table, okay, is related to exactly one record of another table B. Let's say that table is the comment table. Okay, so what does that actually mean? It means like let's say in the block table, okay, that one blog post, okay, can only have one comment, okay, because that's one-to-one, right? One is to one, right? One blog post can only have one comment, okay? But in that kind of situation, we won't actually use a one-to-one relationship there. That's because a blog post can have multiple comments, okay? So a one-to-one relationship might not actually work there, okay? Might not actually work there very well, okay? So we could say an example could be a car, okay? A car that has a one-to-one relationship with a, another table called vehicle. Okay, what am I trying to say here? Let's say that we have like different kind of okay, let me say a user and a profile picture. Okay, let's use that one is more better. Okay, a user and a profile picture. Okay, now so a user has a one-to-one relationship to a table that holds a profile pictures, meaning that one user can only have one profile picture. That user cannot have multiple profile picture, but instead those pictures can be changed, right? Can be changed. That's why you cannot go to your Facebook account or your Twitter account and then you click on your profile picture and it shows you which picture you want to choose. Is it the picture one or the picture two? It will always show you one picture, right? You can only update that picture. Okay, you can only update that picture, but you cannot have more than one profile picture. Okay, so that's that's the relationship there, a one-to-one relationship. You see how that works. Okay, you see how we can do that in coding, in actual coding. So another relationship is the many-to-one relationship. Okay, a many-to-one relationship. Okay, so this one is actually used when a record of a table A, okay, let's use block table, okay, a block table, okay, is related to multiple records of another table B, okay, and this time let's use the comment table, okay. So now in this situation, it actually makes sense because it's a many to one. It means that one block post, okay, like one table A, right, and that table A we are using block post like a block table here, right? So that one blog post can have multiple records of comments. Okay, that means a post can have multiple comments. Okay, so in this situation, that fits very well. Okay, so in this kind of case, using a one-to-one relationship doesn't really solve the problem. Okay, doesn't really solve the problem. So that's how they want to many-to-one relationship works. Okay, one-to-many relationship. And then many-to-many relationship, okay, many-to-many relationship, right? Right, many-to-many relationship. Can say that this one is used when a table A, okay, where a table A is related is related to another to multiple, okay, it should be multiple there. It's related to multiple records. Sorry, I think this type of error. Sorry, to multiple, should be multiple, to multiple records of another model B of another model B and vice versa, right? Now the many-to-many has it's reversible, okay? It's meaning that a table B can also have multiple records of the table A, right? But for the other two, right? For the other two, it's not actually reversible. It's not actually reversible, okay? It is a one-way thing, okay? It's a one-way thing. So let's assuming let's say in the case of many to one, okay, and we said that a blog post can have multiple comments, right? But then one comment cannot have multiple posts. Okay, like we can't attach multiple posts to one comment, but one post can have multiple comments. Okay, so in that case, it is a one-way thing. All right, it is a one-way thing. The block to comments, but not the comments to block. But in the many to many, it's a two-way thing, right? It's a two-way thing. Both models can have multiple record of each other. Okay, we'll see that in coding actually. We'll see that in coding actually. So then how do we actually? So let's say that we want to create it. Okay, probably after creating these tables, right? We have so many tables in our database. Okay, now how do we actually interact with this table? Okay, how do we do this? How do we create a new blog post? How do we update? How do we delete? How do we reference? How do we see the relationship between one table and another table? Okay, so now Django now provides us with this feature called the ORM, right, which helps us to interact with database. It's more like writing SQL, right? But in Django or in Python, it's way easier. It's way easier. Okay. So now what happens is that you write a simple Python code, and then Python will generate an equivalent SQL language for that, and then interact with your database for you. Meaning that to be a Django developer, you might not actually necessarily, like you might not really see need, right, to have the idea of SQL. Okay, but as a web developer, you need to have a knowledge of SQL, because a web dev, you are always likely to have database, and database will always contain tables. So as a web dev, as a web dev, you will always need to interact with these tables. Okay, so good thing is that you might not actually need to know SQL 100%. Okay, like a little knowledge of SQL or no knowledge of SQL. Okay, and you are good to go when it comes to Django. Okay, Django will just write those code with be behind the scene for you, and makes life easier for us. So that's what ORM is, right? It's a way, or it's a tool, whether it's a tool or a feature of Django, which enable us to interact with a database, and we will see that ASAP, right? Okay, so that is that for the theory. Okay. Sorry, the slide does not have much notes. Okay, so I said that we might not actually be having slide too much, right? So most of the thing we'll be doing will be practical. All right, so let's dive into our Visual Studio Code, and let's see how these things works. Okay, so I believe there's no question with that theory.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. No question as the theory, but I just want to ask that we are here to see the link to the last class online. We've been looking since Monday. We couldn't find it.
Oh, okay. I think that Monday class was actually being recorded. Okay, it wasn't live streamed. It was being recorded, then uploaded. But I think and I believe that it has been uploaded. Okay, so after the class, I'll find the link and then drop it for you guys on Slack. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll find out why. Okay, and if it has been uploaded, I'll get the link and then relate with you guys. Sorry. Okay, sorry for that. Really sorry.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, sir. All right. So as usual, we'll navigate to our project folder, activate our environment, and then put on our server. Okay, and put on our server. Please, I don't know if there's someone that's still having difficulty in how to arrange his folders, having problems with template not being found, all that kind of stuff. Please let that person message me on Slack, please, and let's see how we can help each other out. Okay, and you can as well let the information to people that are not on the class right now. You should message me on Slack, so we can help ourselves out. All right, so real quick, you change directory into our document, and then KodeCamp project. Oh, sorry, there's not M there. KodeCamp project. Okay, and then so that's where our project is. Okay, that's it. My site are then our virtual environment. So we go ahead and we activate the virtual environment first. venv /script /activate. So in today's class, I'll actually add the .bat. It's been a while, and we haven't added the .bat. So we actually just add the .bat in today's class. It works as usual. So now we do what? We change directory to our project folder itself, right? My site. Okay, so we are in the project folder. So how do we know that when we are in project folder? If we do dir, that's list out all the files and folders here, we should see the manage.py, right? So when we see that, we are in the project folder. Well, I clear my screen. Okay. All right, so let's put on our server, python manage.py, .py run server. Okay, run server. That should take a couple of minutes. All right, so our server is up and running. Server is up and running. So what I want to do is we want to go ahead, see that you having page not found, right? That's because I'm going to the wrong URL. So to go to the home URL, we do home-home. This is our own simple project. Okay, so in the last class we fix this up. So I said that we could go back and fix all these pictures. But there's a picture here, there's a picture here. In this row, there are pictures there. So we could just, I thought that we should go back and fix that in our spare time. There's a picture here, there's a picture here as well, but I'll do that in this class. I'll do that in this class. All right, so our picture is, that's our template there from the home. So next thing is I want to go to the admin, right? Let me show you what we've been saying all this. Yeah, so now I've logged into the admin panel. Okay, I believe that we all have our logins to this panel here. Okay, so now if we look closely, right, there's a table here. Okay, there's a table here that if we click on the users table, now we have, this is a table that like I said, and then this table is found inside a database, right? Because if you look at our project folder, okay, it came alongside with db.sqlite3, right? That is a default database that Django comes with, right? But that database is not good for production. What I mean is that when we host this site, we won't actually use that database, but for production, we can actually use it to see how we can interact with the database. Okay, so these are default table that came alongside with Django. Okay, when we start a new Django project, okay, when we started a new Django project, right, Django created these tables for us. Okay, and this other table here is called the users table, and then this users table has certain fields. Okay, certain fields. And we have the username field, the email address field, the first name field, the last name field, and then the staff status field. Okay, and there are even more fields than this, but if you click in on one record, okay, we have other fields like the active field, the staff status field, the super user status field, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now when I say that that a table consists of records, right? So what's basically a record? A record is a single row like this, right? So like this admin row that I've checked here, now that is a single record. Okay, that's a single record, right? The admin here is a single record. So when I say what that one record has a certain relationship with another record, I'm basically saying that one row like this, okay, has a relationship with another row or multiple rows of another table. Okay, so we will see, we'll create our own table, okay, and then we'll bring it to this panel, and then we see how we can interact with our own as well. Okay, so since Django has already given us the user table, okay, which by default we shouldn't create our own table for users again, okay, because that table is here already. So we will go ahead and use this table, okay. But for this class, I'll try to create our own user table and then see how we can interact, okay. And then and then I'll go ahead and delete that table out because we don't actually use it in anything, okay? But for the sake of explanation, all right? So as usual, I'll open up our project folder in VS Code, okay? And our project folder is in KodeCamp project my site, and then open with code. Open with code.
So I don't when I click on the page where those where my virtual environment is. I don't get that V code open with V code. I don't get it on my template.
Okay, what you do is make sure that your mouse, okay, is at an empty space, okay, an empty space like somewhere here, right, anywhere around this region, okay, and then right click.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I see the Git. I see the Git GUI. Okay. And the Git base or something like that, but I don't.
But this one is not here. Okay, if it's not there, what I would recommend is but it should be there, but I don't know. But if it's not there, okay, I recommend you go ahead and uninstall the VS Code and then install it back, and then try checking if there's anywhere that says add to something or permission kind of stuff. Okay, just check it. It should be one option should be there. Then you can just check the box, and I think you should be asked.
Hello, sir.
Okay, sir.
I think that's part of the problem I have. That thing is not showing. And I keep having, at the end of the day, I was just having error 4.
Honestly.
The truth be told, I did not submit that assignment because I cannot imagine myself submitting an incomplete assignment. Honestly, I did not because.
Okay. What you do is go ahead and message me on Slack. Okay. Go ahead and message me on Slack, and we'll see how we help each other out. Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
So we that submitted the assignment, we have not been moved to stage C.
How can they move you when we are not done?
Don't worry. I have graded. Okay.
I don't know where they are moving to. May they wait now.
If you've not been promoted, okay, you will.
Don't worry. Right? Promote you.
Don't worry. Please. Okay, it's not that you will be. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
So let me ask again. The page you open, that our project page. When you click user, yes. When you click use, no, not on this file, on the
this one, browser.
On the web, on our browser.
Okay.
So this is page. Is this like one to many in terms of the description you give to us?
You mean this table here?
Yeah, is it like one to many?
All right, so
all right.
All right, so currently now this table, none of this record here, okay, has shared any relationship with another table yet, okay? None of it has shared. Okay, this is on its own, okay? A table can as well be on its own without having any relationship, okay? We'll see that, right? We'll see that. That is not a must, okay? It depends on what task is at hand, okay? It depends on what task is at hand. So currently, this table is a standalone table, no relationship attached. Okay. All right. So this is where we left off last class. So today it's not going to be HTML there. There's going to be actual coding there. All right. So go ahead and close most of this. All right. Let's see. All right, so now, in order to even have way to save our data, okay, we have to actually create a table, okay? We have to create a table. Now we don't have to create a database because a database has been came alongside with Django by default, okay? And this is that database here. So if you click on this, it should show us a bunch of code, okay? It shows us a bunch of code. And VS Code can't even open the file because the file extension is .sqlite3. So you have to install certain dependencies or configure the editor in order to be able to open this extension, okay? But there's no point opening this file here, okay? Because what we will see here will be binaries, bunch of things that we won't even understand, okay? And those things that we don't understand are actually these things here on this page, this table here, okay? But if we look at the actual SQL like 3 file, what you will see here, honestly, you will not want to see it. So let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. Okay. All right. So in order to even save a file, like I said, we have to actually have a table. Okay, you have to have a table to store these files. Okay, because if you look at this, if you go to our let me open this. Let me hide this for now. Let me hide this thing for now. Right. Okay, so if I go ahead and open this, let's go to our site and let's say home-home. So that was it. Right now. If you look at this, let's see contact us, or let's say contact. Okay. Right now, if you look at this, right, someone can actually come to our site, okay, and then want to drop us an email, okay, or message us, right? So now we will log a situation where we actually get all these stuff there and then save it in our database, okay? And then so as once we come to the database and say, okay, who has messaged us or who has subscribed to our newsletter, or for instance, here they say sign up for our newsletter, right? Now we want a session where we can actually, because here you have to put your email, your email, let's say example, let's say example, let's say gmail.com, right? So let's say that this email here, we want to sign up for our newsletter, okay? So in order to be able to send mail to these emails here, right, we have to have a table where we do what? We collect all this data and then save it, right? So we can actually have reference to them and then be able to send email to all of them. Okay. So now currently, if you click on this, nothing happens. It's just forbidden. Okay, that's because okay, when we get there, I'll tell you why this is showing us forbidden. Okay, but for now, nothing happens. Right? Nothing actually happens. So even if there was a way of us submitting that, nothing will happen. Okay, but it shouldn't be so. Okay, this stuff should be saved somewhere. Okay, in our database. So now I said that in order to save it, you have to create like a table too, and this table has fields, just like this one. That is a user table that has fields, right? So these fields are not constant, like they're not fixed, okay? But it is dependent on the task at hand, okay? It's dependent on the task at hand. So let's say that we want to create a table to collect, let's say, user emails for that, like this one now. Then a table to collect all these emails here, right? So now we don't expect that table to have we don't expect that table to have the user gender, okay? That it doesn't really make sense because the fields is dependent on the task at hand, okay? The fields is dependent on the task at hand. So we are going to in this class we are going to create let's say a simple table, right? A simple table. Let's just say we can say let's say a block table. Okay, let's say block table. Let's just use block table for instance. So now, where do we actually create this
when
table?
When you say block, what do you mean by block table?
Like okay. Sorry. Let's say post table. Well, post table, right? Let's use post. Let's use post. Okay. So where do we actually create this table? Could it be in our views file or in our URL files? Okay, but it happens that we don't create it in we don't create this table in our views files and we don't create it in our URL files. Okay. Now there's another file that comes when we start a new app. Okay, that file comes when we start a new app, and that file is known as the models.py file. Okay, so this is where we create tables. Okay, this is where we create multiple tables. So this file can have as many tables as possible, depending on let's say and depending on the task. Okay, they are the purpose of the table. So how do we create this table? Okay, how do we create this table? So now why I said okay, why if you go back to our slide, I said that we should use table here, okay, instead of model. Okay, so now why I actually use model here is because this table is known as model when it comes to Django. Okay, this table is referred to as a model. Okay, and this model can have multiple fields. Okay, now why I use table was for those that actually have an idea of SQL. Okay, so when I say table or model, okay, they are actually the same thing. Okay, they refer to the same thing, but when it comes in the context of Django, a table is actually a model. Okay, Django knows it as a model. So to create a model, okay, or a table, we use a class, okay, a class. And back then in our
Also, I want to ask question. I want to ask
okay.
question.
Okay, question.
Concerning the there was a class we created a super user.
Yes, sir.
So like the way we normally install the Django in any project that we are doing, is that the same way we also create super user in that particular project because we have
Yes.
installed the Django?
Yes. That's how you create a super user. Right. So probably at least the first user to use that backend, that's how you create it. Then probably after creating that user, you can actually do it from that table. Okay, from that user's table, you can be on that table and create as many users as you want.
Sorry, China, so super user, where did we see that thing again? Was it not when we were setting up Git?
No. We did it
password.
when we talk about the admin page. Okay. Because when we actually needed to access this page, okay, that's when we created a super user. All right, so now to create a table or a model in Django, we make use of class. Okay, so models are actually classes, right? They're actually classes, right? And then we have to inherit from the models, and because this importation was there by default, okay? Because Django knows that by default, okay, by default we should use this. Okay, that by default our class will inherit from this, okay? And we use this as well to create those table fields, right? So to create a table, we use class, the class keyword, and then the table name, right? So how do you want to call this table? Like in this one, this table was called users, and this other one was called groups, okay? So what happens is that if we call this post, right? Normally we should add s, okay? Like because this table will have multiple records, okay? That's multiple rows, okay? So now, but if you add posts, right? When we migrate this to our database, Django will automatically add s to it. So we have something like post with double s. So no need of putting s there, okay? Django will add that s automatically because Django knows that this table will contain multiple records. So as such, the table should carry a plural name, okay, of posts, okay? So we just use post.
But if Django adds another s to it, does Django now understand what that one means?
Yes, it's understand. Okay, it understand. Now, when we want to reference this table in your code, you will reference it as post the way you call it here. Okay, and then the other s we leave it for Django to take care of it for us. So, so now the class keyword and then the table name, and then we say that this will inherit. Okay, this how we create classes back then in Python. Okay, but since this class will be an inherited class, okay, it must be an inherited class. You have to inherit from the model, okay, for the model class itself. Okay, that's kind of like the parent class itself. Okay, so in order to inherit that, we do model, right? Models dot model, the other model with the big M. So that just the writing there is case sensitive, okay? Small m and then big M here. And models dot model. Then the last model is a capital M, big M there. So now beneath this class is where we put the fields that we need, okay? And they believe me that many fields, okay? There are as many fields as possible, and Django has made that possible. So this is a Django documentation of model fields, okay, of the fields, right? So here, I think this first part are the field options, okay, like the options you can add to the field itself, okay. So we don't want that, but we add that in ours. I'll show you where we add those options. Okay, so this is where the actual field starts, right? The field types, okay. So we have the auto field, we have the big auto field, the big integer field, binary field, Boolean field, char field, date field, date time field, decimal field, and so the fields are much. Email field, file field. These fields are much. Okay, these fields are much, right? So I'll recommend in your spare time, and you guys can actually look at this field and how they work or how you actually use them. Okay, so
Excuse me, sir.
okay, question.
Good evening, sir. Sorry, I'm just joining. I joined like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Please, this link, this is the documentation, right?
Yes, this is the documentation for fields.
Okay. Okay,
For
sir.
model.
Please, my own documentation, when I search, I did not get exactly like this. So
Alright,
I don't know, maybe you'll help us with this link.
Okay, let me drop the link for you guys now.
Okay, sir. And please, let me see your code. There's something I want to find out, please. Okay, sir. In this post, they post brackets, that bracket there.
Okay.
This small letter models, is it like an object of the main class model? Because I don't understand where you got the models from.
Okay. So I said that that tables is the same thing as models in Django, okay, as models in the Django. And I said that by default, okay, once we start this app, right, this importation comes along that app, right? That's because Django already knows that in this file is where we create our tables, okay. And I said that these tables we have to inherit it from the parent table, okay, because they are when we start a new project, okay, there are certain tables, okay, that are created by default, okay. So we have, and this table has certain functionalities, okay, functionalities that we might not even have any idea about. So instead of us to create our own class with our own model kind of class with our own field, so we inherit from that class, okay, and then we work with those class. So here we are simply inheriting, okay. So we are inheriting using this models module here, okay. We are inheriting and using that models function there, okay. So to inherit from the actual model itself, we use this models dot this model. So this is the model we are inheriting from, okay. So to inherit from this model, we need this model, then we need this function, right, that comes from Django.db. We need this function. So we use this function to inherit from that model, okay. So after inheriting, now we can now go ahead and create our own field, okay, that we need
please,
for this table.
So the model that we are inheriting from is resided on the database,
yes,
of this project?
Of the project, yes, sir.
Okay.
So we are inheriting from that model.
Okay.
Please, sir, can you just all these keyword I use, can you just like come down and explain it to us? From the Django.db, import models, the class,
okay.
Post, function of post. I think I've seen something like post in this thing, but I don't understand it. Okay. Then that model, all those things, I believe all those things has meaning and functionality, and if you don't understand it, I don't think that we can.
Yes, sir. The vocabs for the Django, please, sir, we should start using them, because someone like me coming from Java background, this is how we do object. This is how we call objects in Java, using the dot. So that's why I was confused. So please, let's try and understand the Django jargons, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, all right, I said that in Django, okay, in Django being a Python web framework. Okay. As a web dev, okay, we are likely, okay, we are all most likely to create tables, okay, and these tables is what we use to save data, okay. So this table we create it based on the task at hand, okay. And I said that for instance, if we let me go ahead and hide this. So I said that for instance, if you look at this, if you look at this web page here, okay, we have a place where we say sign up for our newsletter, okay. So by default, this place usually, okay, gets the email, like user emails by default, okay. And now to create a table, right, to actually save this email, I mean, in order to save this email, that's when someone click on submit, we get this email and then we save it, okay. In order to do that, we need to save it to a table, right, to a table. And then this table, we have to create it ourselves, okay. So we have to create these tables ourselves. So, and in order to create these tables, since we are getting only emails, I said that this creating of tables is dependent on the task at hand. So currently the task at hand is to get user emails and then save it to the user base, okay, to the database, sorry. And I said that for this, okay, we might call this table newsletter table, okay, newsletter table. And then the column, okay, the column in this table might be the email column, okay, just the email column, okay. And since it's just email, okay, adding like the age column or probably the gender column, okay, well, it doesn't break the code, okay, but depending on the task at hand, it seems not necessary, okay, not necessary at that point in time, okay. So the creation of this table is dependent on the task at hand. I said that to create this table, we use the models.py file, okay. This way we create the table, and this file comes alongside when we create a new app, okay. Once we do patternmatch.py start app, this model comes alongside with it, okay. So this way we create our table. And I said that models is the same thing as table, okay. For those that have an idea of SQL, okay, the model is the same thing as a table, okay. But in the context of Django, it is known as models, okay. So it's known as models. And I said that once we start a new project, okay, there are models that comes alongside with this project, okay. These models are like they are like code, okay, that enables us they are like a class that enable us to create our own models, okay, and then use it depending on the task at hand, okay. So now in order to create this this model, okay, we need to inherit from the parent model. So like the parent class, we need to inherit from them, okay. And then that inheritance, okay, in order to inherit from them, that model dwells in a module. That model, okay, this model, the parent model, dwells in a module Django.db, okay. So I'm now saying that from that module, okay, from this Django.db, there are other modules there, okay, like there are other functions there, okay, there are other modules there. So from this Django.db, okay, I don't want to import all the functions there, okay. I just want to import the models function, like this models here, right? And then we use this model to inherit from this parent model. So that's why we're having model here, okay. Models here, okay. It's the same way for that lady that says that she that's coming from the Java background. It's the same way of referencing an object, right? I said that everything in Python is an object. I said that in our beginning part of this boot camp, okay. I said that everything in Python is an object, okay. And here we want to inherit from the model object, okay. And to do that, we need this function here to reference that object, okay, to reference that object or to inherit from that object, okay. So since this is needed, we need to import it first, okay. And to import this, we need to import it from Django.db, okay. And then we now inherit it. And I said in our Python, I said that to create a table in Python, we use class, all right. We make use of class. And I said in our last back then when we were doing Python, when we talked of OOP, okay, I said that OOP was basically all about classes, inheritance, okay, polymorphism, abstraction, and so on and so forth, okay. So in order to create a table, we use class, and the way we did class then, okay, it was we used the keyword class, and then that class name, and that class name is always likely to start with a capital letter, okay, and then probably we could say a class of, let's say, animal, okay, let's say a class of animal, okay, and then we put this exclamation there, and then we come here and then we define certain function for this class, okay. We can say the goat class, okay, sorry, the goat function, okay, the goat function, right, and which since it's a function, okay, that dwells within a class, since it's a function that dwells within a class, it takes in the self parameter, right? I said this in our last class, and then we go ahead and we define certain function for this and then we go ahead and we define certain function for this class of animal. I said goat bleats, okay. So same thing is happening here, right? Because this is basically the definition of a class, right? You look at this, the same thing that's happening here. We are defining a class here, right? But difference that in this class we are not creating any function, right? We are not creating any function in this class. That's the only difference between this model class and the actual Python class, okay? We're not creating any function in this class. So here, this class is a keyword, okay, that signifies that whatever we are doing here is a class, okay? And then this post here, right, is a class name, is this class name, okay? What do we name this class? We name this class post, okay? So since this is a web app, application, and we want to build, I want to create a table, okay, and then there are certain codes behind the scene that enable us to create this table, okay, and we don't want to sit down and write all those codes by ourselves, okay. We just want to inherit from the parent class and then write and then use this to build our own table, okay, and that inheritance is what is happening here, okay. It's what is happening here. And now let's assume here that we had another class here, right? Let's assume here that we had another class here, and this class would be, let's say, a class of animal. Okay, let us say that this one is, let's say, a function called behavior inside that animal class, okay. And then we have another class here that says the goat class, okay. This class is a goat class, right? And since this goat is somehow related to the animal class, okay, and then there might be some certain functions in this animal class, right, and we don't want to write those functions again in the goat class. So what do we do in this case? We inherit from that animal class. And how do we inherit from this animal class? We write this animal here, okay, write the animal, and then all the functions within this will now be brought inside here, and then we can go ahead and we can either tweak this function to our own liking, or go ahead and use the function as it is, okay. So the same thing is happening here. We are inheriting here. What are we inheriting here? We are inheriting this model, okay, right? So in case of Django, in order to inherit this model, we need these models to reference that model, okay, to reference that model, right? So now, since we did this model, we need to do what? Import it. So we import it from where? The Django.db. So after that importation, we now use it to reference this model, okay. So the same thing that's happening here is exactly what is happening here. Just slight difference. So I believe I've been able to clear that. Is there still a question on that?
Let's move on.
Okay.
You said the model is another name for that model is stable.
It's stable, yes, it's stable.
Put the small letter on and the capital letter on.
No, like when I said that another name for this model is called stable, I mean that another name for this thing we are doing here, this class that we are doing here is table. Because if you have an idea of SQL, okay, to create a table in SQL, we use the command create table. I think it's something like that. Create table.
Yes.
And then the table name, right? And then the table name, the table name could be called post, right? And then inside this post, we go ahead and specify the columns, okay? a bit data types. I can't really remember, but long I wrote it.
Okay.
Right? This same thing here is what we're actually doing here, right? So you can say that this creates table here is the same thing as me saying class post, okay? Meaning create a table called post, right? That is the same thing that's happening here. Then when we now
That post that we use, is it a variable name?
we could now start the variable name, which could be
Post is it a variable name for it?
Yes, it's a variable name, like it's a table name, kind of. It's a table name. The same thing here, okay? Create table post, all right? It's a table name, and then
And it's changeable. It's changeable.
yes, it's changeable. It's changeable. You can change it to anything you want. Please.
Then the capital letter model is the one that contains the class functions that we need to create.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So same thing with SQL, and then after doing this create table here, we could go ahead and put like the variable, and then we go say like the post, or shall I say the title, or post title, something like that.
Like now, if we want to see the actual functions that is being contained in that model, is there any way we can see it on VB?
VS Code.
Yes. Like want to see, like let's see the functions and see how things we can also play along with it. Something like that. Is it possible?
Okay, let me see. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, it's possible. It's possible. Okay, but if you can give me a few minutes around, or probably at the end of the class, I might actually show you that those functions. The functions they are actually much. I believe they are much. Okay, because it will just be one function there. With bunch of functions, lines of code, thousands lines of code. Out of that, 1,000 lines of code, just make this model alone. Okay, so probably I will show you that. Okay, maybe I get into the end of the class. Okay, or probably next class. Anyone, I will show you. Okay, you that want to see the functions there, I'll show you those functions there. I haven't actually looked at those functions there before. Okay, but I believe those functions there are much. I believe they are much. So back to this man here, this class man here, right? So I said that when we do something like this, class post and then models.model, okay, the same thing as us saying create a table called post in SQL, right? The same thing as doing that, right? So now this table will have fields, okay? The same way this other table here has fields. The same way this other table here has, let me hide this again. The same way this other fields here, this other table here has field, the username field, the email field, first name, last name, and staff status, okay? So this our own table here, we also have fields, okay? And we can say that one of the field here we could say could be the post title, okay? Because this is a post, okay? A post will have title. That a post, and another one is we could say the post content, okay? The actual post itself, okay? We say the post content. Okay, we could say the post content there. And then we could say another field here again that we might be so I said the timestamp, okay? When was this post made? The timestamp. Okay. So we'll stick with these three fields for now, okay? So now this thing here is the same thing as us coming to coming to MySQL and doing the same thing, okay, and doing the same thing. Here you can say another one, post content here, post content, and we could say another one like the timestamp, okay. Though I can't remember how it's done in SQL, okay, but it's something like this, right? For those of us that has the knowledge of SQL, okay, it's done like that, right? but in Django, it's not done like this, right? So I'll comment this out for now. So now after we might have these fields in mind. Now we have to let Django know what kind of data or what kind of data is coming into this field. Is it an email? Is it a date kind of data? Is it a character kind of data, or any kind of field, right? Depending on any of these fields here, right? Any of these fields here. So we have to let Django know that, right? And to do that, we say that this field here is equals to, we are still going to use the models again, okay? We are still going to use these models again, the one we imported up there, okay? And then we use dots again, but this time around, we are now referencing this field, right? And once I put dots, VS Code is now showing me list of fields that are possible, right? That we can actually use here, okay? So the field that we are actually going to use here would be a char field, this field here, char field, right? So it will be models.char field, right? And then this char field takes a field option, and that option is max length, okay? How many length? How many characters, okay, do we want in this field alone, okay? What the maximum character that this field can carry, right? That's what it means. Also, we could say we need this title to be 10,000 character, okay? And then we'll do the same thing for the content itself, and then the content will increase it to like 100,000, okay? 100,000, and then the timestamp.
This field is alphanumeric.
Yes, it's alphanumeric. It's alphanumeric.
Okay.
So the next one we want is a timestamp, and this one should be either a date field or
this can actually be any.
You mean if this can
these alphanumerical numbers, can they be any number, right?
Yes, it could be any number.
Does it have to be 10,000? Does it?
No, like this max length just showing a maximum number of characters that this field will.
Yeah. So can it take more? Can it take more or less?
No, it can take less than 10,000.
I think it's the index space of that particular post title. The index can contain the index number of characters. Just the way we have length in Python.
Yeah, exactly. Just the way we have length. Okay, so max is there. Okay, that's what max length does. Okay, let's see. All right. So the next one now. Next one we want. And someone's mic. Please, can you just help me with yourself, please? It's disturbing the class. Sorry. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. All right. So next one now is timestamp. Okay. So we want the date and as well the time of when this post was made. Okay. So Django also has a field called date time field. Okay. Date time field. Okay. And then this one we'll give it an argument called auto now add, okay, auto now add, which is this one here. Right, I'm setting this to true. It means that once this post is being created, that the user does not actually need to specify this time. Okay, this time will be automatically added itself. So that's what this auto now add means. It means that this field, that this particular field exactly equals to exactly that what it means. Auto now add equals true. Okay, so we don't want the user to add that term by itself. Okay, this thing will be added automatically. So now with this, we've actually created a table with this, as simple as that. We did not write any SQL code. We did not write nothing. We wrote nothing, absolutely nothing. All right. So with this, now we have a table called post that has the post title, the post content, and the timestamp as well. So now what we want to do after creating a table, okay, we need Django to be aware of this table, okay, and then so that we can actually reference question.
Other fields, other names of this table that we type is just normal variable. But that timestamp is a keyword.
I mean, this timestamp, no, it's a variable that you can turn it to, let's say, date posted. Okay, it's a variable.
Okay. Yeah, I was seeing timestamp there.
No, it's a.
Okay.
We will use to access this field, right? This variable names here is what we use to access these fields, right? So it could be anything there. So now after you have created your table, now Python expects you to type in 2 commands. Okay, it's always 2 commands, right? So that 2 command is you use it after creating a table, and you use it again after editing any table. Okay, you use it again. So let's say another 2 command is Python manage.py make migrations, right? And then the the manage. So now next, and then the second one is Python manage.py migrate. And then what happens is once after creating this table, okay, now Python does not, Django does not know that this table has been created. So if you try to reference this table, you have an error saying that column cannot be found in the database. Okay, so now once you run this command, Python manage.py, okay, because since this is database is database must obey the SQL language. Okay, there's no manipulation. You must write SQL. All right, so now once you run this command here, Python manage.py make migration, Python will convert this class here, all right, to equivalent SQL. Okay, so you see how easy that is. Just with this command here, Python will convert. So even if this table had like 10,000 fields, okay, Python will convert it to SQL code. Okay, and then once you do the Python manage.migrate, Python will now Django will now save that SQL code to the database. Okay, because this is database, and database you must use SQL. Like you must use that language, right? There's no magic. So what happens behind the scene once you write a basic Python class like this? But Django will now do what? Convert it to equivalent SQL code. Okay, so now with this done, okay, with this table created now, so we will go ahead and run these 2 commands and run it in our command prompt here. So our server is still up and running, so we break it with Ctrl+C, and then we type that command. The first command is Python manage.py, manage.py make migrations, and then we click enter, and then it says migrations for the home app, because this table here is in the home app. Okay, that table there is in the home app, and it says create model post. Okay, create model post, and then we do Python manage.py migrate, and then we click enter. Okay, the spelling in my Python manage.py migrate. Okay, and then we click enter, and it says applying all migrations to the admin auth content type home and then session, right? And it now shows our home app here. Okay, that's because our home app now have a model in it. Okay, so if you go ahead and create another model in the account app will as well show here as well. So for now, the account app is not showing that because the account app does not have any migration to be made or to be made. So we go ahead and then we run our server again. So with that, we have written SQL automatically behind the scene. We have actually written SQL with that, simple as that. But the problem here now is if we go to our server or our admin panel, we can still see that table here, right? So now next thing is to register this table into our admin. And where do we do that? We do that in the admin.spy. Admin is where we register, and it says here, register your models here. Okay, this file was created automatically when we started a new app. Okay, so how do you register this? How do you actually register this post in our database, or this table in our database? Okay, we come over to the apps. I'm sorry, not apps, admin.py. Okay, and then we do we type the command admin. Okay, because it's being imported here for us. Okay, already Django knows all these things. Django knows all these things, so it import them automatically for you. So you say admin.site. Okay, the site dot register. Right, so that's the command there, and then you put your model name there, and our model name there was post. Our model name here was post. Our model name there was post. So currently we need to bring this post to this file. Okay, since just the same way, just the same way we do for views, right? When we want to write a URL for a view, okay, we need to bring. Please go ahead. Please go ahead and mute yourself, please. God. I can't mute. God. Someone
Can you mute everybody?
Please mute them from your end.
Well, I can't mute them. That's the problem. Haven't been given the host. Yeah.
You can find out where the noise is coming from now.
Someone has unmuted his or herself.
I think the person is Z or Ladipupo, kind of.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So
thank you very much. All right. So now
again.
Question.
Admin site register post. All these things are keyword.
Yes, they are keyword. They are keyword. Okay, sir. All right, sir. They are keyword. All right. So first of all, like the same way we do for our views, our URLs, okay, and we need to bring this post down to the admin file. So we say from current directory, from current directory in the file models, the model file, import posts, right? So let's bring that post down there. All right. So what is happening here? What is happening here is all these are keywords. Okay, it must be like this. Okay, so now this admin is a function that has sub-function inside them. Okay, so now this admin is a function that comes from the Django.contrib, right? .contrib, it comes from there. So it's a function, and this function has, let's say, sub-function inside them, right? So now what is happening here? I'm now saying that we use this admin here to register on our site, right? This table here called post. So when we do admin.site.register, we're simply saying, go ahead and register this table on our site using this admin function that comes from Django.contrib. Shall I repeat it again? So what this thing here means, it means that we should register, right, this post here, which is our model, on our site using this admin keyword that comes from the Django.contrib package, okay, or module. That's what it means. So we are basically just registering, and that's all we do in this file. So if there's 10,000 models here, just keep doing this. Admin.site.register, and then the model name. Admin.site.register, and then the model name, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's what we do in this file. That's the only thing we do in this file. We just register our model. So with this now, our post model is now on our admin page. So if I refresh this page, we now have post. So remember I said that Python and Django will add S automatically, because if you come here, we had post with no S, but here we now have S, right? That's because Django already knows, right? Django already knows that this table will have multiple records. So as such, it should be in a plural form of posts. Okay.
If we use I didn't mean that we use something like news feed.
It's just add
For,
S to it.
okay.
Just add news feeds, add S to it. Okay, so now we have our post, and now this post is now in the home app, right? In the home app. Now this other one say came automatically when we started our new project. Okay, this side came by default from Django, and it is known as authentication and authorization. This part has to do with users, and then this app, because it's like an app. Okay, this app here, this app, that authentication and authorization has many functions which we will explore them. Okay, in the future lesson we explore them. All right, so ours now just have post in the home app. Okay, it's in the home app.
So let me ask you now,
Okay.
why is it taking the same color of authentication? Why is home taking the same color? Did we do anything to say we want the color to replicate all the while?
No, we do not anything.
Okay.
It does that automatically. Okay. It's trying to section. It's trying to make this interface easier. Okay, because now it has sectioned it. So had it been this post was added here, okay, and let's say you have a problem on your site pertaining to, let's say, user not receiving your news, like newsletters. Okay, now you know that table can be found in the home app. Okay, so just go to home app, just with ease, just in home here, and just find inside this home, you just find that table and makes life easy. Okay, it makes life easy. Now these tables are arranged alphabetically. If you look at this one, groups are users. This user comes down and their group goes up. Okay, it's alphabetically. But that means that even if we come to our models here and create another model here, like let's say newsletter, right? And then even if that newsletter is above this post, okay, or this post is above that newsletter, which one comes first? N or P? Okay, N comes first. Okay, so even if that newsletter is below this post, okay, which by default, which alphabetically it should be above the post, right? Once we add it here in the main, okay, once we register it, it will be arranged here alphabetically. Okay, so it doesn't follow the
order.
Here, yeah, it doesn't follow this order here from our models.py. Okay, so quickly we just click on our table, and this is currently there's nothing here. Nothing here. We have not added anything. Now if you see a button here that says add post, so if you click on add post, we now see that field, the post title field and the post content. Now we are not seeing the timestamp. Okay, we can't see the timestamp. That's because that will add it to us automatically. That will add it to us automatically. So let's just say a simple thing like, let's say post 1, okay, and say content is testing post 1.
So just say 100 billion stolen.
No, let's stick with the post 1 and testing post 1, please. All right. So now we go ahead and then we click save. All right. So now okay, now we're having an update here.
So we have something like home. Okay, does that mean that the table is created in the home
app? Yes, exactly. The table is in the home app.
Easy life, easy Python. Nice.
So okay. It makes life easier for us. So now so if you look at ours, it's not arranged like this. Okay, which we will do that, but not in this class. We'll arrange ours to be as wonderful as this. Okay, that actually shows this. All right, but for now, we use this for now. Okay, so currently we have a new object here called object one. Okay, post object. Okay, so that this object is of the post class. Okay, so that's why I'm saying post object. Okay, I now have one here, meaning that's the first object in this database so far. So if you click on it, we have the post title and the post content. So it's already there. Okay, so we can go ahead and edit it and as well save it. We can do other things. We can question
using that object. Can you use like database terms to enable us understand it?
Okay.
Okay.
So what this thing means? It means that a new record has been added to the table. Okay, this is a new record. Okay, a new record of the post table. Okay, that what it means. A new record has been added here, so we can edit. We can update. We can add a new one. We can delete as well. Okay, all those functionality comes automatically, or it comes automatically. So like we never coded this delete button. We did not code it. So we can click and then we can delete. And now we have an empty post, an empty table with nothing in there. That post has been deleted. That functionality, Django does it for us automatically. See why they call Django out of the box. Like it means that it comes with most of this functionality. You know, I always say that Django is a kind of framework that we use for projects that has limited time. So if your boss or your client is on your tail and he's giving you like 1 week to create a site and then put it online, I always recommend Django because it's quite easy and comes with most of those functionality, comes with most of them. So imagine writing just these 2 lines of code now to create a table. This one, so if this was SQL, we would have done create table first, and then to add to database, now go and do how they call that other function. Is it add? Is it? I can't remember. Okay. So but
even that point that you deleted, you would have written a code. That deletion you did just now, you would have written a code.
You have done it
to delete.
To delete it, but that functionality just happened there.
Configured.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So we go ahead and add another one. Just say post again. Post one, and then okay. All right. So we have post one, and then we have another one that says, let's say post testing again. Let's say post testing. So I said that these fields are alphanumeric, meaning that it can contain numbers as well. All right, it can contain spaces and so on and so forth. So we just save this, and it now shows post 2, right? Why is showing post 2 here is because there was an object here, right? Like there was a first instance of this thing, right? But that instance was deleted, so we can leave the numbering, okay? Leave that numbering. If so, you see our post there, okay? You can view our history here. That's, you can see date time. It was added by 7:36. Okay, I think my browser is 1 hour late because this is 8:36. So here it's showing 7:36 is 1 hour late. Okay, and then it was added by this user. Okay, it was added by this user. The admin username and my first and last name here is Basi, right? An action that happened here was added. Okay, was added. So let's see if I go ahead and do something. Let's just say and save. And let's see what happens here. And say history, and it says change post title, right? So this is more like that git commit, right? That git commit stuff. It's kind of a comment. Okay, so comment say was we added the other one was not change post title. Okay, so because you can add more posts, you can add another post called post 2. We could now say testing post 2, right? And I say posting post 2. See I have post 3. So
yes, sir. This is just like a blog, like post. The post on the blog, you know, database that will contain the post.
Exactly.
And the title of the post, content. This content can be an image.
Yes.
It can be like
yes.
an image or something. Okay.
Yeah. So
but that keyword we use cannot hold an image.
Yes, cannot hold an image. So I'll show you when we get to. Don't worry, I'll show you how we put an image. But to not be this, like when we get to media files, right? Media files. No, we talked about template file. We talked about static file. So we'll talk about media file, like media file. Though they're almost the same thing as static files, okay? But when it comes to uploading of files here, like of images here, okay, we have to do certain configurations, okay? When we get there, we'll understand better. Okay, so it's okay if you don't understand what I just said. When we get there, we'll understand. So this is one record, and this is another record, okay? So basically, we won't be doing this, okay? We won't be doing this. Like each time a user wants to add a new post, that user, if that user is not he that user is not a super user, okay? That user cannot access this page, right? So we are only accessing this page. That's because we have this staff status checked, okay? If I go ahead and uncheck this for one, okay, for one of this account can no longer access this page, okay? So in our own blog, okay, we want a situation where a user will actually do these things from the front end, and then we manipulate it and it comes up to this page here, okay? So now we'll be doing that with the help of the ORM, okay, the object relational mapping, okay? And we are going to take a look at how that works, okay? We're going to take a look at how that works, all right? So that is that about this. So we've created our table, we've added to the database, and we see that we can add, we can delete, we can update, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, it's not showing the timestamp, okay? It's not showing the timestamp.
So what type of table is this?
Okay, this is a post table. Okay, it's a post table. It's like every other table. Okay, ma.
Why is it not showing the timestamp?
All right. I think let's her talk first, and then you. She said she asked question first. Okay, ma.
So I'm seeing from the class, from the code we wrote, that post is the table itself.
Yes.
Then this post object 2 and 3, is it what is it? Are they like the table contents?
They're like the table contents, but we won't do this. Okay. Normally, this is what we should see. Okay. I'll tell you why we are seeing this. Okay. I'll tell you why we are seeing this. Right. So this is just a Django keeping count of how many things, because I said that everything in Python is known as an object. Okay, so this is an object of this post class. Okay, like I said, this is an object of this post class. Okay, so it just counting. Okay, so we did the post object 1, which we deleted. So this is the post object 2 and post object 3. So it just keeping count. Okay, but that's not our problem. We're not even interested in this. Okay, so when we get to shall I say admin design, or shall I say configuration, we will change all this. All right, so for leave this count, just leave it, just so that your object is being saved. Right, so just leave that counting that Django is doing. All right, so the second person that was asking question, please go ahead.
Okay. What I was asking is the reason why the timestamp is not showing.
Okay, the reason why
like seeing the timestamp
automatically. Yes, it's that timestamp should show there. Okay, after this record has been created. Okay, but I noticed that it no longer shows. It no longer shows in Django 3.0, right? Okay, so though I will make the sense why it's not showing, but if we come here and we can actually see it, okay? But when we get to the page itself, we can't see it. So I'll find out why. Okay?
Is it not the same timestamp that you showed for mystery?
No, it's not the same time. No, this timestamp here is the history of what we've done. Okay, but from here you can actually see that this was when this post was created. If you look at it.
What I'm saying is, assuming you didn't put the timestamp on the code,
Okay, it will have
Would
still
this, would this still appear?
Yes, sir.
Would this date here and time still appear here?
Yes, I believe it. Yes, it.
Oh, okay,
it
I
will.
see.
It will.
Oh,
This one
okay.
is
That's
for.
why I didn't ask, because I thought this is where the timestamp is appearing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So let's see.
What's the way forward for that timestamp? I didn't mean that.
We take it out. Yes.
No, don't worry. I'll show you how we can
Normally,
see.
like I'm asking now, normally based on what you are saying, normally in Django 0.2 or what, it normally shows templates
Yes.
where we have.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not really sure, but I don't know where. And believe me, I haven't actually have time to check why it's not showing. And because in my front end, I'll actually show that timestamp. Okay, the timestamp is there. It's just there behind this scene. But by default, once this thing is created, okay, it will show that timestamp down here, but in a way that you cannot actually edit it. Says
that's what it's supposed to be. Just like what you see on this
automatically. Okay. Yeah, just like something that's showing here. So we can't edit this. Okay. So that should show it. So for some reason it's not showing. I'll find out why.
Sorry, sir. This time that is speaking now is 1 hour.
Yes, my browser is 1 hour later.
Okay, like he's speaking the time from browser, not even from system.
I don't think it's because of the browser.
See, it's from this timestamp. Let me show you. I think there's time zone. It's using this time zone, UTC, and I think that we are always. I think one hour left. Is it 1 hour
left? We are +1.
Okay, we are +1, right? So probably in our next class I'll change this time zone. So we can use our time zone, our current time.
Okay.
Time zone. So it's from this time zone here. So that's where everything is coming from. Time zone UTC. Okay, so like I said, that the users won't actually be doing this from most of this. That users won't do most of this from here. Okay, you have a way of manipulating these things, and then user will do it from the front end, and it will get added here. Okay, and do that with the ORM. Okay, and we have like 15 minutes left. Okay, so I'll just touch small of ORM, and then probably in the next class we'll continue from ORM. Okay, so it's just be like let's say a demonstration. So I'll just demonstrate with the command prompt. So I'll demonstrate with command prompt. So I'll go ahead and clear my screen. CLS. All right.
What did you type?
Your ORM is being written in command prompt.
No. Like I want to show you how it works. Okay, just I'll show you because there's no time. Okay,
just demonstration.
Then in our last class, we can actually do it in the actual VS Code, like write it in our file, right? Give me a few minutes. Let me share my command prompt and let's see. Someone sent a question. Someone sent me a question. So someone asked if Django DB remain fixed, binded to Django admin panel, like man, okay, or you don't want to work. Okay, so all right. Okay, the person that asked me that question that says, does Django DB remain fixed and binded? Okay, all right.
What I mean is it only that we can use only MySQL, like we cannot use a different?
No. Oh, okay, that's the question. Okay.
Yes, or can we use something like Firestore? Is it flexible enough to work with Firestore or something?
Yes, you can work with any database one. Okay, and I think in our next class, I'm actually show you guys how to configure that. Okay, all you have to do is to go to your settings, and then you come down here. And then you come down here. Okay, I have to change my password. I didn't remember that password was there. I'll change it as soon as I can. Oh God, my password is down there. My password is down there. So okay, so what you do is you come down to your setting and you add certain configuration, same way or almost the same way of adding this, all right, almost like this for email. Okay, I use this to do a demonstration for someone. Okay, give me a few minutes. Let me see what's happening there.
So that static that is shown in the setting, did he add by itself automatically?
Yeah, it did. It did add by itself. Okay, so let me see. Share this. All right. So it's off. Okay. So I'll change the password. Okay. So my credentials was by default. Your credentials should not be on a certain file. Okay. So I'll show you how that is, how you can hide sensitive information. Okay. So when we get there, I'll show you. Okay. I use this project to do an example of emailing. So my credentials was in these settings. I just showed that up by mistake. All right. So what you do is you come to these settings and then you add certain configurations, and that will be like your database name, the database password, and database username, and one other configuration. Okay, so I'll show you how, because by default DB SQLite 3, okay, we can't use it for production. Okay, we can't use it for production. This database is just for development. Okay, just for development. Once we want to push this code online, I'll show you how we can change and use a different database. Okay, so it's dynamic enough. Okay, I believe I've answered that question. It's dynamic enough. So back to ORM. Let's see how ORM works. All right. So,
sir.
Okay. Question.
Yes, sir. Question. I wanted to ask that: is it possible to use Postgres with Django?
Yes, sir.
As a database.
Yes, sir. It's very possible. But that's the database I use for production. I don't use SQLite. It's not good. This database, Django does not recommend you using this database. It's not safe. Okay, it's not good for production. So you can use whatever database. You have to get those credentials, and I'll show you. I think when we get to production level, like when you want to push this product online, I'll show you those credentials that you need to actually use other a database of your choice.
Or is it you that will still write the code to prevent somebody to hack this website?
You mean to automatically? Okay. Django has its own security, because if I think there are some security levels. It is also, it depends on where you're actually hosting on your your hosting platform. Okay. I think most hosting platform they provide a SSL. Okay. And so you can purchase it.
Because when you were scrolling down, I saw SSL on this page.
Yeah, so it was for emailing. Okay, to send email. Okay, maybe this one. No, this one is used.
Yes.
Okay, this one
no,
is
I saw
used.
on SSL.
Yeah.
SSL.
Yes, and that was for email, like to send email functionality, which we will get to that soon. Okay. Email to send email. Okay, and so in order to send it to other platforms, like either using Gmail. Okay, you need some certain configuration, and it must be in a secure connection. Okay, so all those things are provided by the service providers. Okay, those people that are offering that service, they provide those securities, and Django on its own, okay, has its own security. That's why when we try to run ourselves again back on, then run ourselves again back and show you what I mean. That's why when we try to submit this form here, it showed us forbidden. It didn't let us submit that form.
Yeah, okay.
Those are security kind of functionalities. If I click submit, it shows forbidden. You can't submit that form. Okay, so I'll show you why later. I'll show you later why you can't submit that form. For security reasons. So I'll clear my screen again once. Let's just see how ORM works, right? ORM is all about using dot operators. It's just about dot, this dot that, almost like what we just did here. Models dot this, models dot that. Okay, but it's simple. Okay, it's simple, not that complicated. So first of all, in order to even work with any model, okay, because ORM is a way of interacting with our table, right? So in order to interact with that table must be here. So I'll do Python manage .py, because I want to work in the shell, right? In an interactive shell. .shell. So interactive shell. So how do you know when you're in an interactive shell? You see these 3 dots there. Okay, this shell we write, we take one line of code at a time, and I think we did that in our very first class in Python. We did this. So first of all, I will import. All right. So I say from home.models, because that's where that model is, right? From home.models, I want to go ahead and import post. I want to import our model down here. All right. So as ORM is a way of us creating, interacting with our database, right, with our table. Okay, so I'll just do a simple one, very simple and very straightforward, and very basic, really basic. Okay, so next thing is I want is for us to, let me try and create a new, want to create a new blog post, okay, a new post object, okay, from here. That I don't want to do that from here, right? I want to do that from, because this is the code that we actually write in our views, right? So that the user can do that from the front end, and then we create it automatically, okay? Without that user going to our admin page to go and create that post, okay? So we'll do that. So the way to do that is, first of all, we have to call the post, okay? So now I'm saying post, and to create a new object, just call post, and then in brackets, okay, those fields, the fields name. So in this our post, right, in this our model here, the only field we need here is post title and post content. The date posted will be created automatically, okay? So, and I say post title. Now post title equals to what? Let's say we need posts, okay? Let's say post 3. This is our third post 3, let's say. And then the other field is what? The comma, then the other field is post content, I believe. Content. And post content is equals to what? And you could say testing post 3. Okay. Right. So the other one will be created automatically. So if I go ahead and click enter, now this has been created, right? This post object has been created, but it has not been saved to the database. So in order to save this to the database, we have to now say X, because X is what is holding that post, but that post instance, okay? Post.save, okay? Post.save. And then we click enter. Believe me that if I leave this command prompt and go back to our homepage, you'll see that post. So just do this exit, and then we leave the interactive shell, and then we run our Python .py again, and then we go back to our post here, and then we have post 4, and see we have post 3 and testing post 3. See, that's basically what ORM means, interacting with the database. So with those code, this code here, we've been just this, right? We've been able to create with this now. If we were to create this, see the kind of line of code we're going to create, one long SQL line of code to create that post. But with this, just did that. This is a simple Python post. So what I'm trying to say that in order to even do ORM or to work with your table, that means your table must be on that file that you are. So if you're working with, if you're working in the views.py file, you need to import that post to that file, right? And then you do what? You do post. That's that post of the that model name, that table name, sorry, or model, and I say okay, it's still the same thing. Almost sorry. It's still the same thing. Post, and then in bracket the fields of that post, right? And with this will now create that post instance, right? In this, and save it, and then assign it to this variable here, X, and then we save it to the database using x.save, right? So this save is a function, right? The save is a function, so that will save that post to the database, right? So another thing we can do, okay, that was simple, but let me do one more, and then we continue in our next class. One more, right? What is happening? Go ahead and break the server. Okay, so well, go back.
Please, I observe something. No.
Okay.
The third post that you did now, when you check the history, it doesn't have a form of history like on the other ones.
Okay, let me check that. Let me put the server back on again. Let's see.
And it says this object doesn't have a change history. It probably wasn't added via this admin site.
Okay. Yes. That's the reason it wasn't added through this admin page. Okay, so this history button works for any functionality that happens within this page. Like, so if in order to have any history, you have to come to this page and
the name is ZK sensitive.
Sorry, what's what
the name?
Sorry,
the name of the field is ZK sensitive. Because you have post title, post content, ZK sensitive.
Yeah, and yes, you have to reference it the same way you actually it's like you're referencing a variable name. Okay, it's case sensitive. So you know that if you say x equals to 10, it's different from big X equals to 20. Okay, so it's case sensitive. So these are different. All right, so you have to reference it the same way you wrote it there. Right, so it's not having that history. Okay, so I believe that's because it wasn't done on this page. So now it now have this history, okay, because I've changed it. Right, so I think this history only keeps tracks of what is done on that of any changes that is done from this page. Okay, but that's not our problem. Okay, we don't actually have any problem with that, right? The history or no history. The thing is that we've created a post, okay, and we can actually retrieve this post. Okay, we can actually retrieve this post. Let me show you how that is being done, right? So you can actually retrieve this post. Let's see how you can retrieve that from the ORM with the ORM. So I'll go back to my Python interactive shell again. Shell, and then I'll import certain things. This one does not keep track of code. So I said from home dot post. The home. Okay, time is up. From home dot model. Sorry, dot models. Import post. Okay. And then we can now say because I say all entries, right? Because I want to see all the posts, right? How many posts are there? All entries is equals to what? You can now say post. So now to get all the entry or all the posts there, okay, all the posts there, you can say post dot object, right? Because I said that everything is an object, right? When we created it here, it shows us post object. Okay, so those things are known as object. So you say post dot object with s, okay, dot all right, dot all. The all there is also a function. So you open and close that bracket and you do enter. So and then you can go ahead and say print, or you can just say all entry. Not continue this an interactive shell. You don't need to print it. You just do the same thing. All entries, and now what we're having here is a query set. Okay, now it's like a list. Because in fact, not like a list. It's a list. Okay, but this list is known as a query set, right? It's not a query set. So now we have post object 2, post object 3, and post object 4, and that is the only that's all the posts we have there so far. Okay, that's all the posts we have there so far. And then the good thing is that we can retrieve one single post. Okay, so let's say that we want to get one single post, right? We want to get one single post. What we can do is we can say one entry, right? One entry, right? One entry. Probably if we do this more often, which we'll be doing it more often, we'll actually understand it more better. So it's a post dot object, right? Dot object dot get, right? So now it's get because we need one particular entry. So now we don't need all this. Like we don't need all this. Okay, we don't need all this. We just need one entry. So what we can do is we can get them from their unique key, because each of them has a unique ID. Okay, for those of us that have done SQL, okay, all these things has a unique ID, and this one could be ID 1, ID 2, ID 3, right? They are unique. They can never be the same, and those IDs are added automatically by Django. Like we not specify it, but Django added automatically. So we can say PK, which is primary key, or or you can say ID, anyone it works, all right? ID or PK. So I use PK. So I say I want to get the post object, okay, that has a PK, a primary key that's equals to 1, right? That equals to 1. And then by, sorry, it says post matching query does not exist. Okay, so probably it was the one that we actually deleted. Okay, so you can say PK is equal to 2, and bam, that is it. And then we now say, and then you can now say one entry, and we now have just this post object. That is the second one here. Sorry, this first one here. Okay, and you can even do it by other fields too. Okay, we can do by other fields too. We can now say get now instead of saying get PK, right? We can now come and say get by post title, okay, because it's a field too. That PK is a field, but we not add it here because Django automatically added that field for us here. Okay, so you can now say get by field where get the object which the post title is equals to post equals 2. Okay, post equals 2, and it says that does not exist. Okay, so let's find the one that does exist. So let's say 1. Okay, I think it's joined together. Is it joined together? I think. Okay, it was joined together. So now when I say one entry again, one entry, we can now get post 3. So it is actually post 3 that has that post title. Okay, it is post 3 that has that post title. So there are lots we can do with this ORM. Okay, so we are basically interacting with them, and we can even update it. So let's go ahead and update this post 3. So we can say one entry. Okay, now say because now from here, okay, we've selected one single post, and that is that post that had the title post 2. So now we can now say that's one entry, right? Dot post title, right? Because it must be a field, okay? It must be a field in that table, okay? Dot post title. I want to change it. I want to change that to let's say.
What does that PK mean?
PK primary key, okay? It's a field. It's a field that is being added automatically, okay, to each of our posts, to each of our table, okay. So even if we don't,
I did not define not define the ID.
Yes, even if we do not add it here, okay, it gets added automatically.
So you just use that, and it's a keyword.
Yes, it's a keyword. It's a field, like it's a field, okay. It's a field kind of
identification of a field keyword.
Yes, just like this post title and post content. It's like a PK also.
Okay, PK, then now
okay.
All underscore entries.
Entries. Okay. You know, this one entry is a variable name. So I'm saying here that I want to get a post that is equals to that.
I'm talking about the one you use and the first one you use.
This
all
one here.
Entries.
Okay. This one entry all underscore. Okay, this one here. All entries. Okay, all entries. I'm saying that I want to get all the posts. Okay, because it says post.update.all. It means get all the posts in that table. Okay. So I'm assigning it to, yes, it's a variable name. So I'm assigning it to this all entries. It's a variable name.
Okay. Then I say all entries.
Yes, all entries. Yes. So here is something I'm saying print all entries. All right. So since we are in the interactive shell, okay, we don't actually need to put it in the print statement. It will just print it out.
That's own. The interactive shell is using Python code or.
Yes, it's a Python. It's a Python.
That means if you put print in brackets or this thing, it will still work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So one last one here is I want to update. So now here I've said that I want to get a post that has a post title of post 2. Okay, now I am now assigning that post to a variable called one entry. Okay, and when I now say print one entry, it now shows us this post. That is that post that has that title post 2. Okay, so now I want to change that that title. So what I'll do is now, and I'm saying that since the Bible one entry now holds that post, okay? So I now say one entry dot post title. So I want to change that post title to, let's say, hello world, okay? Hello world. Okay, I want to change it to hello world, okay? And then click enter. So now it has been changed, but it has not been saved to our database. So you know that each time we create, we need to save. We change, we need to save. So now we now do one entry, okay? One entry dot save, okay? And that will save. Save. Oh, sorry, wrong spelling. One entry dot save, and that is now saved in our database. So if I go ahead and say one entry, okay, one entry dot post title, okay, dot post title. Let's see the post title now. Dot post title. It now shows us still showing us post, but showing us hello world. So let's see what it shows in. Let's see what it shows in the in
post title.
Let's see what it shows in our admin page. That's what it shows in our admin page. Right? So let's see post. So this was the one that has post 2. No, not this one. Let's see this one. That it hasn't been saved for some reasons. I don't know why. But for the reason it should save, okay. But if it doesn't save, then no problem. We will just continue from here in our next class, please. We are 1 minute late. We are 1 minute past our time. Though I know we started late. Okay, but in our next class, we really talk about this ORM properly, right? So I'm just rushing. I'm trying to show you how it works, what it's all about. Okay, so that's what basically what it's all about. It's just us interacting with the database, nothing much. Okay.
Let me see this thing. Yeah, you said one post entry to get one post entry.
Right, to get one post entry, right? This is where it is. I said that to get one post entry, I say post.object.get. And what am I getting? I'm getting I want to get the post, which the post title is equals to post 2. So that will be saved to this variable name, one entry. And when I'm printed, when I have that, it is the post that it is post object 3, right? That the third post update. Okay. So here should change this name to hello world, but for some reason it's not changing. Okay, I think I made a mistake. Okay, no, it should, but it's not changing. I did it here, but it's not changing. I don't know. Should save. It's not. Right, so we'll continue from here in our next class, please.
So are we going to get this link and the previous one to available online?
Yes, yes, I believe. Yes, I believe.
Sabi, please follow up. We need this video.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Please help us follow up so they can upload it.
Okay, yeah, I will. All right, guys. Good night.
All right, thank you very much. Good night, bro.
Good night, sir.
Good night, everyone.
Queen to queen.
Is it here we are staying, or we are going to? Is this where we're having the short class?
No, not here. We're not having that class here. That should be on. That will be on the Slack. Okay, just message me on Slack.
So how do we connect to you on Slack?
Message me. Just message me.
Okay.
Right, and any other person that's having the same issue, okay, same issue of arranging his or food as well, okay, so as well, message me. Okay, so I think there was another person on this call, okay, that had that same problem. Please, that person should go ahead and message me. Should go ahead and message me as well on Slack, please, and then we'll see how we help ourselves out there. For now, that will be all. See you guys next week, Monday.